What's up? Feliz Navidad with Costilla Malacala. Just kidding, I don't know Spanish, but I do know the Mexican War of Independence, and that's why I'm not sure why there's an American flag behind me. But we'll find out. Alright, Mexican War of Independence. It was called for. The Mexico territory was ruled for over 300 years by Spain. Peninsulares, who were Spaniards, were not treating the Mexicans right. They were known as Creoles at that time. They were Spaniards, but they were born in Mexico. There was racial discrimination, and they weren't treated right. Like the government didn't treat them right, and they didn't have equal rights, and they were sick of it. So I'm an American, but today we'll be talking about the Spanish. My friend Cooper's up first.
Yeah, I'm here to talk to y'all about Miguel Hidalgo de Castilla. He was a leader and the igniter of the Mexican War of Independence. He was also a Catholic priest, and he was the one who issued the Cry of Dolores, or the Grito de Dolores. And this revolutionary tract was publicly read by Hidalgo in the town of Dolores, and it called for the end of the 300 years of Spanish rule in Mexico, redistribution and racial equality. Alright, now to talk about more of the Cry of Dolores, as I previously stated in the last slide. Cry of Dolores set off the Mexican War of Independence, and it was a revolt to become independent from Spain, from Mexico. And this was also, as I said, issued by Father Hidalgo, or Miguel Hidalgo de Castilla. And alright, Spain itself was in chaos, and King Ferdinand the Seventh was a guest of the French who ruled Spain. Because of this, Father Hidalgo issued the Grito de Dolores, or Cry.
Up next, we have the Peasants' Rebellion, and this army consisted of mainly peasants, and it was 80,000 poor Mexicans. After hearing the Cry of Dolores, they joined Father Hidalgo's army. However, Father Hidalgo was no military man. Father Hidalgo was obviously no military man, so it was crucial that IGNACIO Allende was at his side. That brings us to our next slide. Allende had been a co-conspirator with Hidalgo before the Cry of Dolores, and he commanded a fierce and loyal trained soldiers. When the War of Independence broke out, he helped Hidalgo immeasurably. Eventually, the two men had a falling out, but soon realized that they needed each other. The first battle Allende and Hidalgo entered was the Siege of Guanajuato on September 28, 1810. An angry mass of Mexicans insurgents led by Father Hidalgo descended the hapless mining city of Guanajuato. The Spaniards in the city quickly organized a defense, fortifying the public granary. The mob was thousands, not to be denied. However, after a 5 siege, the granary was overrun and all inside a massacre. and now up next is my boy Sam.
Sam, let's go, Sam! Let's go!
Up next, we have the Battle of Monte de la Cruces, and this battle began in late October of 1810, and Father Miguel Hidalgo led an angry mob of close to 80,000 poor Mexicans, like we mentioned earlier, towards the Mexico City, and the residents of the city were terrified. Every available royalist soldier was sent out to meet Hidalgo's army, and on October 30th, the two armies met at Monte de la Cruces. Would arms or disciplines prevail in numbers and rage is the main question. We haven't made that part. And as you can see, the numbers defeated the royalists. After the Battle of Monte de la Cruces, this left the Mexicans unguarded and vulnerable. And Father Hidalgo should have attacked, but he didn't because there was another army on the way. But instead, he retreated and took the safe route.
How many times?
Alright. Hey, it's Graham. In January of 1811, Mexicans rebelled under Miguel Hidalgo and Ignacio Allende were on the run from royalist forces, picking advantageous grounds. They prepared to defend the Cauldron Bridge, which leads into Guadalajara. Could the rebels hold out against the smaller but better trained and equipped? During the Battle of Cauldron Bridge, royalists win the battle, and Hidalgo and Allende escape. Afterwards, Hidalgo and Aldine captured, and after the Battle of Cauldron Bridge, Hidalgo and Aldine captured and were executed.
So what you
Alright, yeah, Jose Morales, he took over after Hidalgo and Allende were executed. He takes over after they were executed, and he carried out the war till the end of it and ended up winning for the Creoles, and he led them to victory.
Alright, the Congress of Chilpancingo, November 6, 1813. Like Cooper said, it was the first official document of the independence, the solemn act of declaration of the independence of North America. It gave Mexico freedom, but it wasn't really followed by the Spaniards. The fighting continued even after it, and basically what happened next, Morelos gets captured. It's when a man by the name of Vicente... No, I'm sorry, previous Spanish royalist, Spain pulls out of the war pretty much, and France takes over, and a previous Spanish royalist goes and helps the Creoles, and he becomes their leader. His name is Augustin de Iturbide. He goes on, this is when, after the new power in Spain, he joins the Creoles, and that's when the plan of IGUALA is established. Vicente Guerrero and Iturbide agree on it. It's also known as the Treaty of Cordoba, and the war ends pretty much. After that, it pretty much ends the war. For your test on this, main things you need to know is it began in 1810, lasted to 1821. Father Miguel Hidalgo y Costilla, or Father Hidalgo, started the war with his cry of Dolores. Many battles took place, and in early 1821, Augustin de Iturbide took over the leader. The plan of IGUALA. Next slide. Iturbide defeated the royalist forces still opposed to independence, because Iturbide was moved toward independence, and his new Spanish viceroy he looked for money, provisions, and troops, and was forced to accept Mexican independence. After that, they signed it, the Plan of IGUALA, or the Treaty of Cordoba, and the Mexicans needed a new emperor, and no surprise there that Augustin de Iturbide was the first emperor. He took over and pretty much ran it from there. That was the first independent constitutional monarchy in Mexico, and that's basically all we have. Alright.